Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. You are now tuning into the Indian Scouser. Please don't forget to smash a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. So there was no uploads last week because obviously our game was on Monday night, and then the following week, as you know, it was the Champions League on Tuesday, Wednesday, the Europa League on Thursday, and then we played again on Saturday. And as you know, it was Valentine's Day as well. Had a busy week with work as well. So yeah, I mean, last two results were great. You know, it's been a while since we've been this happy. Two wins in a row, back to back wins in the league, clean sheets as well. The same result, 2-0, 2-0 in the Merseyside derby and, against Newcastle. So I'm going to chop it up. And obviously, it's the build up to the Champions League knockout stages, the round of 16 first leg at Anfield under the lights against the European kings themselves, Real Madrid. Obviously, a replay of the final last season in Paris. But before I get into that, just a quick one on the Merseyside derby. I think that's when our players, again, they know they just have to step it up because if they don't, we're in big trouble. Like Sean Dyche, new manager bounce against Arsenal. At Goodison, they won that 1-0, but this is Anfield. And I think first half, I loved how we raced the game from minute one. And at a point, it seems like, the midfield battle was getting a bit interesting because, as I mentioned in the preview, with Onana and Gana Gay and Dukure, it wasn't going to be easy. But again, young Stefan Basetic, he showed class. Henderson and Fabinho. Fab showed glimpses of his old self. You see Mo Salah scoring that goal in the counter attack. How they hit the post and then look at the counter, the pace of Darwin Nunez. It's just insane, and I think, yeah, Mo got the ball first and he gave it to Darwin, and then Darwin back to Mo at the other end of the pitch. And Mo finished it off with his weaker foot. We go 1-0 up. Anfield erupts. The crowd was rocking. And then second half, another great counter attack. That tackle from Basetic that actually led to the goal later on, with I think Mo giving it to Trent with the overlap, and Gakpo was onside, with a tap in 2-0. And yeah, I'm glad we could see the game out. Great win. And then we played Newcastle, which, everyone thought this was going to be the tough one because if we beat them now, we would just be 6 points behind them with the game in hand. So it could be three. And as it stands, obviously Spurs, they beat West Ham. So they're in fourth currently, having two games played more than us. So they're 7 points ahead. So we win our two games in hand. We'll be just 1 point behind them, 1 point behind top four. But again, we got to put some context because we're playing Chelsea as well in one of the games in hand, even though they're in a bad place right now. But we're going to Stamford Bridge, and when they're playing up against a big team, they might step it up. You never know. But yeah, they just lost to Southampton at home, bottom of the league without any manager. Again, no manager bounce maybe, but you can't lose at home to the last place in the league after spending that much, courtesy of James Ward-Prowse lovely free kick. But yeah, back to the Newcastle game, so heading into the game, obviously we were the only team to beat them this season. They lost only one game, all season. So it was going to be tough. They were unbeaten at home, conceded the least, best defense in the league. But again, we went with the same lineup as the derby, but obviously with VVD back in for Matip. Gomez kept his spot. And to be fair, I don't think Joy G, he wasn't again at his best, but I was proud of our fullbacks. I think Robbo and Trent played massively well. Like, they were immense, absolutely immense. So credits to them because you guys know like how we attack and how we play in our system. We rely on our fullbacks a lot. They're literally, our creativity, it's coming from the fullbacks. So they were on top of their game, apart from what Robbo did right at the end. This guy should just go for goal sometimes, but that isn't going to take away for what he did the whole game. Let's talk about that first goal. Trent to Darwin Nunez, who was onside. Great control by Darwin. Great finish as well. It wasn't handball. Both the goals, they took so long to check, VAR, but great goal. And yeah, Klopp stuck with the same three in mid. I thought Naby might come in, but it's great to see Hendo and Fab again with some legs in midfield. And again, young Stefan, Iniesta, Stefan, majestic. Basetic, man, this guy. The second goal, the way he just let that roll, the maturity he shows at such young age. It's actually crazy if you think about it. He's only 18, but he got the ball up all by himself. And then we played a couple of passes. Obviously, it was like what Gakpo to Fab, Fab to Mo. What a ball to Gakpo. What a chip. And again, Gakpo was onside. Great touch, great finish. We go 2-0 up. And as always, Alisson Becker. I'm going to talk about this guy in just a minute, but this is another incident in the first half where we've seen multiple times now him assisting to Mo, against City or even against United or against Norwich. I believe his 3 assists all to Mo. This time he looked at Mo again. Great ball. Nick Pope comes out, handles it. I think he tries to hit it first, but then, then he grabs it. It's a straight red card. Now going to miss the Carabao final, which is actually really, really stupid if you think about it. Why would you do that just a game before the final? And obviously it was just in the moment, it was just an instinct. So, it's his fault. He bottled it. So now I'm hearing it's Loris Karius because Dubravka obviously is cup tied. He will get a medal if United wins it. So it's a win-win for him, honestly. Don't know who he'll be supporting come Sunday, but Loris Karius, the last final he played for an English club was the Champions League final 2018. We'll see what's up with that. But Nick Pope sees red. They're down to 10 men. And normally we don't really play that well against 10 men. It doesn't really work in our favor at times. But yeah, second half, I think Newcastle, credits to them. They were still fighting. Obviously they got the home crowd. But Alisson Becker, man. This guy kept us in since the beginning of the game when it was still 0-0. He stopped Almiron from scoring. And the save in the second half against, what was it? ASM. St. Max. What a save. And then he hit the crossbar. And yeah, Dan Burr with the header from the corner hit the crossbar as well. Would work, but and right at the end, Alisson with another save towards the end. So he's been our player of the season by far. Might as well just give it to him now, the award, but where would we be without this guy, Bottom half of the table, surely. See, I love Ali. He is the best goalkeeper in the world. I'm ready to debate anyone with that right now. And yeah, I think even the subs were actually good that day. With Bobby coming on, you see the little play he had with Jota and the nutmeg by Bobby. That just makes me happy, like seeing Bobby and Diego back. Diego with a couple of decent chances. Obviously, he's still going to look a bit rusty, but, it'll take some time. He's that player who needs a few games in his legs and then under his belt, then he'll get going. As always, this guy, he's a top-class player anyways, great finisher. So he will bang soon. Pause. And yeah, 2-0, another clean sheet, 3 more points on the board. We're slowly but surely climbing up that table. Finally, we just have to keep it going. We got Palace next in the Premier League. But before that, it's the big one tomorrow night. Well, this video will be out literally today, Tuesday. So tonight, for all those watching this today on a Tuesday on the 21st of Feb, big game at Anfield under the lights. Another European night. Obviously, we prefer the second leg to be at home, but this time we play first. Obviously, Darwin was a doubt because of his shoulder injury against Newcastle, but I've watched the press conference. Klopp said there's a chance, and then I've seen Darwin actually in training, so that's good news. Whether he starts or not, I'm not sure. He took part in the training session today, but if he's 100% fit, will Klopp play him from the beginning? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, if he's fully fit, I would definitely start him. It's not even a question, but we'll have to wait and see. Otherwise, we have Diogo who can come in or Bobby. So let's just begin with the starting lineup. Let me just share my screen real quick. Here you go. So I could have just said that I'm playing the same exact lineup as the last game against Newcastle, but obviously I have to explain myself why I'm playing this team, the same players. So in goal, Alisson Becker, obviously, no doubt about that, best keeper in the world. Trent, back to his best now. Well, hopefully his form continues at right back. And we have to keep in mind he's a yellow card away from a suspension, but you just have to play your best players from the start, because let's say we play Gomez right back and Matip at center back. And if we don't win this game, then I'm pretty sure all of us will say, what if we played Trent? We could be heading into the away leg at the Bernabeu with a lead, with an advantage. So you just have to play them from the start, and hopefully take the lead by 2 or 3 goals if possible, and sub him off so he can play in the away leg. But I think eventually he'll pick up a yellow somehow, because if not this leg, the away leg, and he'll probably miss the next round. And when you come up against Vini, one of the best players in the world, literally right now as well, up there with Rashi and Mbappe, in my opinion, one of the best in his positions, it's going to be tough, but definitely playing Trent from the start. Robbo left back, I think he's picked up form as well the last 2 games. And VVD is back, you got to play him. The reason I'm going with Joy G and not Matip is because even though Gomez, again, he seemed a bit shaky in the last game as well, but 2 clean sheets for him in a row. Van Dijk obviously just came back. Matip played the Everton game in the Merseyside derby. I'm playing him only because of Vini's pace. I think he could help Trent out. But at the same time, you can argue that Matip can deal with Benzema better. But I'm going to think about Vini first. So that's the only reason I'm going with Joy G ahead of Matip. And Matip, again, when you throw him in, will he be at the top of his game? Because the last time he played, obviously, was the Merseyside derby. He's fully rested, but the game before that against Wolves, he didn't look good as well. So, both him and Joy G, they've been up and down. Obviously, Ibra is still out for this game. But I'm going with Joe Gomez. I think this back five, at least now, there's an understanding from the last game. So you could say that a fresher leg like Matip can come in. But what Klopp would do, I think, in my opinion, would be like this. He'll stick with the same back four, back five, if you count Ali. But there you go. In midfield, I do think Jurgen will stick to these 3 again, because it'll be the 3rd game in a row. If we played our last 2 games with 2 clean sheets and 2-0 wins, I don't see a reason for him to actually change things around, even though you do have to rotate. But who do we have? Who do we got now? Thiago's still injured. You can throw Naby in. He's the only shout. But my issue with Naby is defensively, he's not as good. So yeah, he might be more creative and help us more in attack. But I've seen multiple games where we played Naby in these big games and he's just nowhere to be seen. Remember the game that we played Madrid a couple of seasons back with no fans? I will talk about our head-to-head with Madrid, in the recent years. But the last time I remember, was it 2020, 2021 season? when we lost 3-1 away from home first, and then it was 0-0 at Anfield in the quarterfinals. Naby played just like what the first 30 minutes, and Klopp subbed him off, and Thiago came on for him. I don't want another performance like that, and I just feel like Hendo, as a captain, as a leader, last few games he's been showing that, yeah, maybe he's not the best midfielder out there anymore with his age, and his legs are, I don't want to say gone, because some games he can show that he can still do a job for us, put in a shift, but that's all from Hendo though. Like, he can lead the pressing like he did in the last game. And yeah, just literally be the captain for us in a Champions League night. Obviously, we got VVD, we can do that, but I think Hendo will help us more and be more effective somehow ahead of Naby. That's why I'm playing him. And you can argue why not Basetic in the six then, and then Naby on the left, Hendo on the right, or Hendo in the six, and Naby on the right with Basetic on the left, and drop Fabinho. Now here's the thing. Basetic, he has to start because he's been our best midfielder ever since he touched the pitch. Yeah, since he came on the very first time. He's been playing ever since. So he is going to play. Yes, it's a lot of pressure for this kid. A Champions League night against literally the champions of Europe currently and the champions of the world. They literally just won the FIFA Club World Cup like a week or two ago, but they're not doing the best in the league. They're still chasing Barcelona. The gap is quite big as well. But obviously they're having a better season than us, compared to us. But we have to play this young lad. He has to play. But Fabinho, like I said, he showed glimpses of his old self in the last two games. Sometimes he's still a bit slow, and he still loses the ball at times, looks sloppy, slow and late challenges. But when he's on a yellow, that's when I think you can literally trust this guy, because I don't think he's ever been sent off for us, touch wood. But I think with him, it'll be more defensive. Yeah, but at home, we should be going all out. It's if you're going to Madrid, then hopefully with the lead, then yeah, we can sit back. But I still feel like this is more secured. But I wouldn't be surprised if Naby starts ahead of Fab or Hendo. But I think Klopp will play Hendo because, the captain, Champions League night, he will play Basetic, our best midfielder. And I think he will go with Fabinho because our last two games, there were great results. So I don't see him changing it around. Obviously, here I'm playing actually a 4-4-2 diamond. We know it's going to be a 4-3-3, but I like Gakpo in the false nine of Firmino role. And as you can see here, so obviously the fullbacks are going to attack, be more advanced. Fat will drop back when our fullbacks are high up. Basetic should come more in the central with Hendo always around occupying this area, with Trent overlapping as well. And Salah being closer to the goal. And the last game, we've seen how these three can all interchange. That's what I love to see. Like Mo, Sadio, Bobby back in the days. Nunez can come in the 9 position. Gakpo moves to the left. Mo's on the right. This is what I want to see. I want to see some fluidity, man. These players interchanging make the attack fluid, especially at home. We know what we're capable of at Anfield. The pressing needs to be at its best. The players have to run for their lives. How many more times do you want Madrid to knock us out? Under Jurgen Klopp, we've been knocked out by both the Madrid clubs only. Madrid 2 finals, 2018 and last season in Paris. Obviously now it's different circumstances that I think we played much better, but Courtois literally won them the UCL. One shot on target, which was the goal. Vini with the goal. We know the drama that happened pre-match as well. And thank God there was a statement officially saying that we weren't wrong. It wasn't our fans. But I want to get into that right now because I want to speak about tomorrow, well, tonight's game. So these guys, man, come on, because apart from the two finals, like I said, in the 2021 season without fans, it was 3-1 away from home, 0-0 at Anfield. This time, I do want revenge. I do want redemption. How many more times Mo has to say it? He's not going to say it this time, but this time over two legs could be possible. Anything is possible when it comes to European nights at Anfield. We've seen it. We've witnessed amazing nights. The Dortmund in the Europa League, the Barcelona, defeated Napoli this season at home. In the Premier beat City and Everton. But I know we're coming up against the Kings themselves of UCL, the current champions. But they'll be without players as well. They've got no Tchouaméni and Cruz in the squad. So we could see a midfield of Modric, who's aging, by the way, no legs. But yeah, Valverde. And it could be Kamavinga. But if he plays left back, then it'll be Ceballos, who is a decent player as well. But I hope it's him because without the ball, I think we can get at him. Well, him without the ball, when we're in possession, I don't think he's that great defensively. Can he deal with the pressure at Anfield with our crowd? Maybe not. I doubt it. But if it's Kamavinga and Alaba playing left back with Rudiger and Militao, it could be tough because Kamavinga has class. But I know our players when it comes to these games, these moments, where they have to step up. They hardly let us down. So this time I hope it's the same story. Obviously, the most ideal result would be at least 2 goals margin. The dream would be 3-0. Because you know what Madrid can do last season. Second legs. What was it against Chelsea, City, PSG before they beat us in the final? We know what they're about at the Bernabeu when it comes to UCL. Once they hear that anthem, they know it's time. But we have pedigree as well. We have the heritage as well. But the last time we beat them was 09. Let's have this kid on right now. When we beat them 5-0 on aggregate, 1-0 away, 4-0 at home. I want that night back. Fernando Torres, Steven Gerrard, Andre Dossena. I want that back tomorrow. Well, tonight, lads. Because this video will be out today. Tonight's the game. It's one more sleep for me now, but I can't wait. I'm absolutely buzzing for this. But anyways, let me know your starting 11 if you agree or disagree with this or any of these players. And, we'll have Bobby and Diego on the bench as well. I don't want to put them in right away again because, we need them for the rest of the season. And what they came on in the last 2 games got their cameos already. But these 3 players here, the front 3, the last 2 games, what was it? Nunez assisted to Mo against Everton. Gakpo scored 2 and 2. Mo assisted in the last game. So he's got 2 GS as well in the last 2 games. Same with Nunez, and Gakpo 2 goals and 2. So I'm going to stick with them. And let's hope for the best. Now, score prediction before I wrap up the show. Honestly, I'm going to be as optimistic as I can. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends 0-0, a frustrating game where we just can't break them down. But we, at the same time, don't lose our concentration and don't concede from their counter or any of the set pieces or open plays because, Madrid can cause you problems. Doesn't matter how they do it, but it's at our home. I'm assuming we'll have more of the ball, more possession. So we have to watch the counter, especially with Winnie. Players like Rodrigo, if he starts or comes on, they can hurt us, even Asensio. And we all know about Kim, Karim, the Ballon d'Or winner, Benzema. With that being said, I'm going with a 1-0 to Liverpool. Clean sheet. Obviously, I want a higher margin. Like I said, at least 2, 3 goals, but I don't see it. If I'm being completely honest, I don't see us getting past Madrid because I think we will lose more than just a goal at the Bernabeu. But I'm not gonna be negative right now. Let's just take it one game at a time. As certain United fans have been saying the past few weeks. But yeah, 1-0 to Liverpool. Mo Salah with the winner. He loves to go at Anfield when it comes to big games. So why not? 1-0 Liverpool. Please smash a like if you haven't. Let me know your score prediction as well. Up the fucking Reds. Peace out.